I really don't think this is a good idea, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So today's video is things I wish I knew before college. So this video is gonna be a little longer because it's gonna be more personal mistakes that I made my first year that I've learned from, and I hope that will help you guys as well. Also, please ignore my bad tan lines if you notice them in the video. I work at Chick-fil-A and I'm like outside taking orders and I don't wear sunscreen and it's bad. Okay, so the first thing is that classes are not much better than high school. I went in kind of expecting to, I don't know, love my classes, but there's a lot of GE classes that you have to take and I hate science and history and all that. So don't expect going in and loving all your classes because they're not all that great. Since I only finished my first year, I still haven't taken like my major classes yet, and maybe I'll like it more then, but currently not always. It still kind of sucks. Second, you should not buy your school textbooks from the actual school's bookstore. They're way overpriced. You can definitely find them from another student because students want to get rid of it anyways. You'll find it for cheap. And also, if the textbook is not required for the class anyways, you might not even want to get it. I know for me, I never got a textbook that wasn't required and I never did like the optional readings, but I was fine. I think it just depends on you though. Literally, it's only been like 2 minutes and I'm getting bit. I don't know how to attract people, but I can definitely attract bugs for sure. Third, I'd say no one really cares that much. I know it sounds weird, but everyone's kind of minding their own business. Like when you're walking on campus where everyone's just going really quickly, doing their own thing, they got their headphones in and not really talking to anyone. They just gotta go place to place. Everyone's just doing their own thing. No one really cares. No one's really looking at you or judging your outfit or whatever. So just you do you, wear whatever you want to wear, do whatever you want to do, and no one is gonna care. There's not really any drama unless you end up meeting really toxic people, but you should cut those people out of your life anyways. Number 4, I would suggest saying yes more than you usually would. Like I know in high school, a lot of the times if I just didn't want to go to something, I'll be like whatever, make an excuse to not go. But you're never gonna know who you're gonna meet, how much fun you're gonna have, and like the worst thing that can happen is like you waste an hour. But the potential benefits of saying yes definitely outweigh the cost, so I would just say yes anyways. My 4 years of debate have come in handy. This is like complete opposite, but at the same time, you should learn how to say no. I'm like the biggest people pleaser ever. I want to make everyone happy. If someone asks me to do something, I'll say yes. And for me, I got really overwhelmed, but it's really hard to balance everything in college. You gotta go to class, you gotta take care of yourself, you got meetings, you got work, everything's going on, and you can't do everything. You really can't do everything. I thought I could, and I couldn't, and so please learn how to say no. And on that same note, don't get over involved with student organizations. In high school, I was in like 20 different things. Like I'll literally show you my resume right here, but I heard people say like stick to 2 or 3 things, and I'm like, that's nothing. If I did all of that in high school, like I could do it again, but no.
I got pranked.
And I joined like 7 different organizations and I got super overwhelmed. But next year I'm only sticking to like 3 or 4. Another thing that I learned is that you're not gonna keep up with all of your high school friends. I know for me, I had like a solid group of like 15 to 20 people that I would talk to in a group like all the time. I would see them in all of my classes and I was like, oh, it'll be fine, like I'll keep up with them in high school. And it was the hardest thing ever. Now I only talk to like 2 of them on a regular basis, and that's a really big shift. So yeah, don't expect to talk to all your high school friends unless you have like a really small group already. This is a huge mistake that I made that I recently learned, is that when you are meeting and talking to new people in college, a lot of the times it's so easy to say, hey, let's hang out sometime, and then you're like, yeah, sure, like that's what everyone does. But that's the biggest mistake because it never happens. You need to actually like make the solid plan, and then you'll actually hang out with them, because the amount of times that I've just never hung out with them, even though like it's not that I didn't want to, it just didn't happen because there was no plans, and it's crazy. That was one of my biggest mistakes. So please actually make solid plans, not just, oh, let's hang out sometime and never talk about it again. Shout out to Jasmine for helping me with that. And on the same like friend note wave, you're not gonna be friends with everyone you meet. You're gonna meet so many people, you're gonna get so many Snapchats and Instagrams, but you really can't expect to be friends with all of them and keep up with every single one, because you're not gonna have time for all of them. You're gonna have to like stick to a couple that you really vibe with, or just hang out on occasion and can talk to, but you're not gonna be friends with everyone. So do not put that pressure on yourself, because I know I tried to in the beginning, and then like I had different friend groups and it was all really weird, and then I tried to get them all to hang out together. It was just weird. So don't do that. And because you're trying to hang out with everyone, you're not going to be close to anyone in specific either. And so that was really hard for me first semester, because I was trying to make all these friends and not like have a deeper connection with a few of them. So that was my bad, and I'm sorry if I did that to you. Another thing that I learned is that before going to college, I thought I was gonna be best friends with my roommate. Like we were gonna hang out and do everything together because we're living together, we're gonna see each other, right? But no, that's not really the case. Skylar, if you're watching this, you were a great roommate, you're a great friend, but we weren't like best friends. But in terms of roommates, as long as you're fine with living with them, you don't have to be best friends forever with them. If you are, like, that's great, but also don't go in expecting too much in case that doesn't happen. And also, people tell me all the time that you probably shouldn't live with your best friend because you might be spending too much time together anyways, so it's all gonna work out. I've also learned that you need to find people to keep you accountable for things, like actually going to class, going to the library to study, going to your meetings, and all of that jazz. If you have someone to do it with, then you're both gonna be like, oh, I can't disappoint them, they're going, so I have to go, and that'll make things 100% easier. Something else that I realized in college is that you can go out on any day, any night. It doesn't really matter. Like, everyone has random gaps in their schedule, so if someone wants to go out to get lunch or food or go shopping or go to the mall, like, you can go any day. You don't have to wait for the weekend, because I know in high school, like, I only went out on Friday nights or the weekends, but that's really not the case in high school. But that's really not the case in college. So this one's a little more personal and might apply to some of you, maybe not to others, but I'm Christian, and going to college, I didn't really meet that many religious people. It's just not really something that everyone tells you when you're meeting them. Religion isn't really brought up in conversation. So my first semester of college, I didn't really have any Christian friends, even though I wanted to have that community. Second semester, I finally joined this organization on campus, and I've met so many great people. So I really suggest going out there and finding those groups on campus. So they do exist, and you will find people with the same beliefs as you. You just need to go out and find them. Something else I learned is that college is not perfect. Yes, it's gonna be the best time of your life. I agree with that 100%, but things happen. Finals suck, it gets stressful, you can get overwhelmed at times. So really, it's okay to ask for help. There's so many people you can talk to, your friends, your RA, there's counselors on campus. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, because it's really not perfect, and it's okay that you might need some help. This one doesn't really apply to this upcoming fall, but I really suggest buying football tickets whenever you can, because I go to a Big Ten school and football is huge there. I personally am not a big football fan, so I buy the football tickets, and there's this huge ticket exchange group me for OSU, and I sold my tickets for so much money. It's insane, and so I suggest that you do that too. Next, I would say this is kind of bad, but find a friend with a car. Do not purposely like only be friends with someone because of their car, but things are so far away from a college campus. Well, for OSU at least, like if I went to go to the mall, it would be an hour bus ride, and that's not it. If you took a car, it's only like 10-15 minutes, so that's much better. So just putting that out there. If you can find a good friend that has a car, then that would be great. This might be common sense, but in high school, I know that I was personally really distracted in class. I'd be on my phone, but in class and college too, like, don't really use your phone. It's really disrespectful, and I also think it's a big waste of your time, because if you're missing the notes that they're giving in class, you're gonna have to go back and look at them later, so you're basically doubling the time that you need to spend on it. So just don't look at your phone. You can look at it right after. This is something that I still am working on, is procrastination. You gotta study early, get your work done. I am someone that does it like hours before, and it's a really bad habit. So this is my advice to you and myself, because it's not fun always stressing the last minute. You might hear this a lot too, but take advantage of office hours. Classes are huge, and you're not gonna know your professor one-on-one unless you actually go to their hours and talk to them. And also, they're more likely to help you, maybe even bump up your grade. And also, you can probably get a recommendation letter if you go pretty often and they know you and how hard you're working in their class. And overall, it's a new connection that you have on campus, someone who has your back and that you know you can go to for help. So we all know college is so expensive, and even though most of our classes are online now, we're still paying a good amount. And so utilize your resources to the best of your ability. You're paying for it anyway, so might as well go to the gym, go to the library, go to the wellness center, health services, counseling, tutoring. There's so many free things that you can use. so might as well take advantage of it. I really didn't think about this one in high school at all, but you should really try to network with people in college, whether they're like upperclassmen, professors, or other faculty members. These people know exactly what you've been through and have a lot more experience, and maybe even have a lot more knowledge in the field that you want to go into in the future. So try to network and meet as many people as possible. Also, on that same note, you should find a mentor on campus. It is so helpful. I know at OSU there's multiple programs where you can get one, and you probably can find one at your own school if you just look it up, but they give so much great advice and tell you like what are the best professors and classes to take and all of those things. A huge false perception that I had, oh my god, all the bugs. Huge false perception that I had about my college is that I thought it would limit where I would be able to go to grad school or find a job because it's in Ohio. I always dreamed of getting a job in LA, Boston, New York, Chicago, all the huge cities, but it really doesn't matter where you end up. It's more about what you make of your college experience. So no matter where you go, you can still achieve your dreams no matter what it is or where it is. And since I'm on like the professional side of things now, I would say shoot your shot at opportunities that you don't think you'll have a chance at. I always avoided applying things that I didn't meet the full criteria to. So for example, if it said, oh, we're looking for second years and above, or this skill is recommended for the position. And if I thought I wasn't good enough, then I just never applied. But I would say that was probably one of my biggest mistakes that I made. Second semester, I definitely shifted my mindset and started to apply to anything that I was interested in, even if I didn't meet the criteria like 100%. But I still got interviews for them, and I actually got an internship, but that got canceled beside the story. But it's still possible, so shoot your shot and apply to those things that you want to do. Oh, this one's really important. Oh my god. Oh my god. You'll get so many free things and also discounted things that come with being a student. And I'll also be making a video later with apps that will help you get those discounted things. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to touch on, which I think is the most important, well, all of it's important, but this is definitely the most important, is to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. College is a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of things, learning a lot about yourself. So don't be afraid to step back, relax, and take time to prioritize yourself. And if you're like me, I know it can be hard sometimes, but just realize that it's not selfish to want to better yourself. Again, college can be hard sometimes. It's okay that every day is not the happiest, most perfect day ever. And on that note as well, please try to get some sleep. I know some nights are gonna be late and you're gonna have so much fun, and that's okay, but don't have like a regular bad sleep schedule. It's not like high school where people compete to have the least amount of sleep. I know like my friends and I were like, oh, I got 5 hours sleep. No, I got 3. Oh, I didn't sleep. Oh, it's not cool. Sleep, get some rest, be healthy, and all will work out in the end. What else am I saying? I can't even remember. How should I end the video? I've been recording for 45 minutes. I hope you guys learned a lot from what I learned in college, and take this all in before you start your first year, because a lot is going to hit you and it's going to be overwhelming, but it'll be okay. So let me know if you ever need anything. I'm always here for you. You can reach out to me at any time. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. I have 15 bug bites, bruh, and they're like huge. Okay, so this is my little warning. Very gross. I will show you my bug bites. Okay, we're gonna start on the left leg. Look at that. Bro, that is so bad. All the way around. Okay, another one. Yup. I told you I track all the bugs. But I can definitely attract bugs for sure.